Well, welcome back to Mini Mondays, where we paint mini paintings in about 15 to 20 minutes. I'm glad you're here with me today. I wanted to do something kind of whimsical. We're doing this cute little duck today, and this was my inspiration. My daughter had this little charm, and I thought, you know what, that's really cute. I want to paint that. So it also reminded me of Duck on a Bike. If you've ever seen this book by David Shannon, it's really cute and there's great illustrations in there. So, okay, well, let's get started. I have included an outline down in the description so you can print that off and do this with me if you'd like. So you can pause the video and do that, or you can just watch and see how this works and then paint later. Okay, so we're going to be using 5 colors today: yellow, orange, red, blue, and black. And with watercolor, we always start with the lightest colors first. So what we're going to do is we are going to put in this light color on the duck's body, and then we'll put in the yellow, red, orange, and blue, all the lightest shades of it, and then we'll go back in and add other layers and darken it. So, okay, let's get started. Let's start with our yellow, so get your brush wet and pull some yellow. And I'm going to add a very tiny amount of black to this yellow so that it's kind of a gray yellow, and this will go on the duck's body. And these are the shadowed parts. So the light is coming from this direction. So the lightest colors are here and on the back and on the, basically the back of the duck. So we're going to put in our shadow of the duck. That's a little bit dark, so I'm going to rinse my brush. I'm just going to kind of pull it out, pull it around. And I'm going to leave a white, kind of a white border right here, because that light is hitting the border, the back of the duck. So I'm just putting some of this light yellow on the wings. I'm leaving the tips of the wings white. I'm coming down, just filling in the body right here. I'm going to mix in just a little bit more black. Make it a little bit more gray. And I know that it might be kind of hard to see on my paper. Okay, we're going to put a little bit of grayish yellow here. We're going to leave a white spot right under the bandana, so bring it down to the handlebars. And then also on this wing, just leave a little bit of white on the tip of the wing there. Okay. And then we'll go up to the head. And I'm going to start here at the opening of the hat. And I'm just going to bring it down kind of around and down to the neck. Okay. Now let's move on to the yellow. So we'll do the hat, the beak, and the foot. I'm just doing a shade of yellow that has a lot of water in it. I'm just putting down the lightest layer first. Make sure your brush is really clean after you do the duck's body, so that this is a really bright yellow. Into the beak. Then onto the foot. Okay, now we'll move to the orange, and we'll put that on the tires. Paint along those pencil lines, go right on top of them. Okay. When you're putting in the orange on the wheels, just try and avoid the fork of the bike here so that it doesn't bleed. So just get really close to it, but don't get into the fork of it. Okay. Now we are going to put, I'm gonna let that dry, and we'll move on to the blue in the bike. Actually, excuse me, we're gonna do the bandana red first. So this first layer is light, and then we'll be adding in the dark. Okay. Now rinse your brush really well, dry it off, and do your blue, your light blue for the bike frame. About that light. We're just filling in the entire bike frame with this light blue. Just be careful that you don't touch your orange. Okay, and then over here. Okay, we're gonna let that dry. Now we're gonna move back to the yellows. We're gonna rinse our brush really well, or we're gonna have green if we still have a little bit of blue in there. So, okay. This yellow is very concentrated, and we're putting it on half of the hat and bringing it down along here. Okay. Then I'm gonna move to the beak, and I'm just putting in the darker layer along this side and around here because that's where the shadow would be. The light is coming this direction, so it's light right there. I'm actually going to add just a little bit of orange for the beak. And I'm going to put a little bit of orange just up here, darkening that. Oh, I guess I need to do that too. Okay, and then we're going to do that on the foot. A little yellow, a little bit of orange. These two are very similar in their shade. So, okay. Right here. Okay. And now that that's done, we're going to go into the wheels, or the tires. I guess there are more tires. And we're going to mix orange with a little bit of black. That's a lot of black. Okay, I want it more like this color. Kind of a burnt orange. You're going to go along the edge of this wheel and up to the top there, bringing it around. To about there. Okay, I'm going to do it on this one as well. not very dark, so I'm going to add a little bit of red and just a little bit of black. Okay, while that dries, we are going to, oh, I needed to do this part of the bill of the hat. So we're going to put in dark yellow with a little bit of orange in it. And because the light, this is probably mostly shaded, so this is mostly going to be dark. We're only going to leave a little bit of light yellow. Now we're going to go in and do the red on the bandana. I'm going to blend this a little bit more though. Now I'm going in with the red. I'm going to add a little bit of black to it. Okay. I'm just basically kind of doing a triangle right here and leaving some bright red there. Now we're going to move on to, I'm actually going to blow dry this really quickly just to make sure that it's totally dry. And we will be working on the outline of the duck and the petal and the shadows and the eye and the nostril, and then we'll be done. Oh, we need to go back and do the blue on the frame of the bike too, the darker parts. Okay. Let's go ahead and do the blue right now. So it's going to be about that dark. Oh, sorry, about that dark. Okay, and most of the handlebar is dark. I have a lot pooling there, so I'm just pulling it off and putting it on my paper towel. Okay. So to about there. Underneath the wing a little bit. Okay. And then it's only on half of this part of the fork, or the stem, I guess that's the stem of the bike. And then along this edge. Along this spot right here. And then we're going to go around the wheel like that. But be careful, if your orange is still wet, just go slowly and try and avoid it. Okay, now move on to this part of the frame, and you can go ahead and just make that all this dark color. And there's a little bit right behind the foot. Okay, that part's done. Now we'll move on to black. First going to make a very, very light gray. So this will be the outline of the duck. So I'm taking about that much black, and I'm using P.H. Martin's Radiant line. It's very concentrated, so I only have to take a very small amount, but you want it to be about that light. And you're going to, once you've mixed it, rinse your brush, tap it on the side of your water and dry it really well, and then shape your brush into a tip, and then just use the tip of the brush to get the paint. And that will give you a more controlled fine line. Okay, so we're going to start up here. Just go very slowly around. So just outline everything, and then we're going to put in a few shadows. With this light color. And you're just outlining the duck, not the hat, just the duck. Okay. Do the petal. And if your orange is dry, we're going to put an outline around the center of the tires. Then, I think that's all outlined. Okay, let's put in a few shadows. There's some, it's darker over here on this wing because it's further away from the light. So I'm making just a slightly darker gray. Okay, and then it would be darker here underneath the wing and on the belly. And then over here on his chest, it's a little bit, it needs to be a little bit darker. Just on this side right here. And then underneath the bandana a little bit. Okay. And now we're going to use black. And we're going to do the eye, the nostril. Oh, you know what? Let's do a little bit of gray on these little spots under his eye. Okay. And then we're going to do black on the eye, the nostril, the tires, and underneath there's some dark shadows that we need to add some black to. Okay, so using just the tip of your brush again, or let's do it like this. Rinse your brush, dry it really well. Like this, shape the tip, dip it in the black. Okay. Do the eyeball. So the little white spot is a little bit closer to the right-hand side than the left. Doing the nostril, make sure your yellow is very dry. Okay, we're gonna put a little bit of black right here at the bottom of the fork, kind of at the hub of the wheel. And then here. And I just noticed we missed one dark spot on the frame, so we'll go back and do that in just a second, but we're gonna finish our blacks. Okay, we're gonna put some black underneath on this tire. And then on this tire. Up here and around. And then if your orange is dry, go ahead and put in the little slash marks that are on the tires. Otherwise, if it's not dry, it'll bleed into it. And you kind of want that crisp edge, so, okay. I'm putting a little bit of black on the very underneath of the frame there, and then on this edge right here. And I believe that's it. We'll do it under the petal a little bit more too. Okay, and then we're going to put in our shadows of him riding away. So they'll kind of go up at an angle a little bit, not just straight across, just kind of at an angle slightly. So I'm going to get some white gray, and I'm going to start about halfway under, and so halfway at the wheel, and just kind of pull it up like that. And then you kind of want the same angle with the front one. That's pretty light, it's kind of hard to see. Okay. And then once you've put in this light gray, get your black, get it on the tip, and then just add a little bit underneath. That's quite a bit. So I'm going to rinse my brush. I'm going to pull it out. And anytime you have a shadow, the shadow is darkest where the object is touching. So if it's touching the tire, I'm going to put a little bit more black here and here. Okay, and then we'll go back and finish this one spot on the frame, and we are done. So I'm basically putting in this dark blue just halfway down the back of the frame there. And then let's do just one more spot right here underneath the beak. I'm just putting in a little bit more dark gray. It's kind of red, I'm not sure why. There we go. Okay, and that's it. You have your little whimsical duck. You can just have this for enjoyment. You can give it away. You can make it a card. But I hope that you enjoyed doing this project together. If you are interested in painting more projects with me, like longer projects, go ahead and check out the watercolorway.com, and you can find all the information there. But I've enjoyed painting this with you, and I will see you next Monday.